So why is it that most people fail to follow up when they've made a sale? I know the answer to that question. And what do they miss out on by making that mistake? In fact, there's a series of mistakes, and I'll tell you. Hi, my name's Peter Thomson. I'm delighted to welcome you to this video. This is sixth in a series of 6, all about selling. Selling, being more persuasive, getting people to buy into the ideas that we have, but in a different way. Not trying to convince people, but by being convincing. Over these last few videos, I've been sharing with you the 6-stage process, which is this: open, gather, present, adjust, conclude, and follow. So the opening is where we start with a pre-planned opening that sets the scene. Then, rather than jump in the presenting or demonstrating side, which unfortunately a lot of people do, we then do the gathering stage. And the gathering is where the real selling takes place, as people sell themselves in their answers to your well-crafted questions. I went through that in great detail on one of the videos for you. Then comes the presenting or demonstrating stage, which is far shorter than the gathering stage. Then the adjusting stage, when we adjust the client or customer or patient's understanding to what it is that we actually said. Then we come to the concluding or closing stage, and then we come to the 6th stage, which is the following stage. And here we are. So why is it that people fail to follow up? I know the answer. I've been dealing with salespeople now for over 40 years, and I know it's because they're scared that the customer, client, or patient will cancel the order. Now, if that is the feeling that they have, then they're treating it as a transaction and not a relationship. When I interviewed Roy H. William, the Wizard of Ads, he said to me this brilliant idea about the difference between relational clients and transactional customers. You understand the difference just off those two words. One's a relationship, one's a transaction. And if we're dealing with customers only as though it's a transaction and we can't wait to get rid of the conversation, get off the phone, get out of the meeting because we're scared they're going to cancel, no wonder we won't follow up. And yet, when we fail to follow up, we miss a number of key opportunities. Here's the first one. We miss out on what's called the lifetime value of the client. Oh, by the way, when we get to right at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you 2 words, which is a concept. And once you grab hold of this concept, I know it's going to change the way you deal with not just clients, not just customers, not just patients, but everybody in your life. And I'll come to that right at the very end. So they miss out on the lifetime value of the client. What do I mean by lifetime value? Well, let's say that a client of yours spends on average in a year £10,000 and that they stay on average conservatively for 5 years. Then the lifetime value of that client is £50,000. Now, knowing that means we can change our marketing strategy, providing, of course, we've got the cash flow. But I'll talk more about lifetime value and how to capitalize on it in a different video. The second thing we miss out on massively is referrals, both internal referrals and external referrals. So we must make certain that we're following up to make certain that we're maintaining the client so that we maximize the lifetime value, and that we're picking up any internal referrals we could get from them, people in their company, people in associated companies, people in subsidiary companies, any connections that they might have within their own organization, people they're connected with as a membership or something. And of course then the main external referrals, their suppliers, their other customers, people they've known through life. If we follow up effectively, if we're making certain that we're living up to the promise of the marketing and sales conversations we've had, then we are building a long-term client and we're building a relationship which can be profitable for both parties for many, many years to come. Now, what about those 2 words? I promised you that I'd share with you 2 words, which is a concept, but it changes the way we deal with people if we take it on board forever. Here it is. Speed stuns. Simple as that. Speed stuns. When we finish with a meeting, speed stuns. If we go back to that person quickly with a handwritten card or an email thanking them for the order and explaining what's going to happen next. If we contact them again immediately after delivery and follow up quickly, speed stuns. If during the course of a meeting with a friend, with a client, with a patient, with a customer, with anybody in our lives, with a supplier, and we talk about a book that we've read and we say, oh, I'll get you a copy. Do it instantly. Order it from Amazon direct delivery so it gets there the next day. Speed stuns with everything. There's an old expression in marketing and selling, which is overpromise and underdeliver. It's wrong, isn't it? What we should be doing is the other way, is to underpromise and overdeliver. In fact, I like to overpromise and overdeliver, but delivery quickly. When we're using speed stuns, boy, does the situation change. Well, I know you can take those ideas away and use them. The follow-up is an essential part of that 6-stage process. On another video, I'll go more into lifetime value and customer acquisition and all sorts of other fascinating stuff. But in the meantime, if you've got any comments or questions, just pop them in the box down there somewhere and we can start a dialogue. I wish you every success in all your adventures in life and in selling as you continue to have freedom from anything that may have held you back and freedom to be, do and have whatever you set your heart and mind upon. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye for now. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos. Then click to watch the next video. Remember to visit our website at peterthomson.com and download your free copy of my latest book, How to Write Your Business Book in 5 days or less. Until next time, every success.